All right, we are on the play in match 5 of this league with Looting Rug Delver. This hand is keepable, but really bad. Keepable in the sense that we can cast spells, really bad in the sense that it's really bad. I'm going to top that because we might be up against an aggro deck. If we're not, we're almost certainly scouring it away. I like playing the island here over the steam vents because we're not actually using the red mana this turn. So we may as well not shock for it. Am I countering that? I don't have much better to do, and I doubt I'm getting mileage out of both of these denials. Spire Bluff Canal might mean a Delverish deck, so I kind of like drawing the Lightning Bolt here, so I'm not super excited to scour. I'm expecting, well, okay, I'm thinking maybe it's something like a Wizardsy deck. Sleight of hand Storm. Why didn't I think, why did I go to Delver and Wizards instead of Storm immediately? That's just pretty ridiculous, right? I want to hold on to this denial, I think. We're going to grab a Stomping Ground tapped. Our life total is not super relevant, but it matters. And I am going to scour our thoughts. Let's find a threat. It's a looting. That's not necessarily a threat. Do I loot here or do I visions? I think I'm going to visions to start us off. Peasy Goyf. We're going to pack away the Peasy, top the Goyf. I kind of want to shock here. Like I said, life total not super relevant. However, having denial up, not a bad thing. Especially if our opponent goes Brawl Remand on our bolt. Having 2 bolts up, also nice. Double red, use just 1 bolt. They don't know. Opponent passes here. That's hopefully okay. They could still get us with the whole Brawl Remand thing, but I'm totally playing out my threat. I don't think there's a universe in which I don't slam my threat here. We're not getting to a better spot to slam the threat. Theoretically, we could top deck another land. I'm not expecting that to happen in my 18-land Delver deck. This is the kind of spot where I slam my threat and say, opponent, this is your window. If you've got the thing, do the thing. If you don't have the thing, however, whoo boy. What do we got? Actually, you know what? Brawl Remand doesn't actually scare me off of 3 lands because we're not bolting the Brawl. If they try to go off, then we bolt the Brawl and suddenly they don't have mana up. And if they don't try to go off and we bolt the Brawl, they get to Remand and loot twice thanks to Brawl. Second Goyf, that one's not being cast because Remand's a card. Should it be cast? The opponent's going to 14 here. That does speed up the clock. Means we have 2 turn lethal. We can actually get 1 turn lethal thanks to these lightning bolts. But we lose 2 remand. I'm going to play it safe. I think we're in a good spot here. If we find another land, I think there's a pretty good argument for slamming that Goyf. In this spot, I think I'd rather just be able to cast 3 spells to try to interrupt the Storm opponent. Mandrills. That shrinks Goyf. We're going to swing first, and then we're going to do our math. Swinging first is an easy choice here. I'm attacking regardlessly, and I don't want to cast anything pre-combat. Maybe looting, but that's not being played here. Sorcery. Okay, what do they have? Sorcery. They have sorcery. Alright, that makes getting rid of this easier. I'm going to want to delve 5, though. That means Goyf suddenly becomes a very small threat. If they have a bounce spell for Mandrills, I'm probably going to cry. If they don't, does this speed up our clock? If we bolt them twice, it doesn't. This makes it better if I want to bolt them twice. I don't think I want to bolt them twice. Actually, no, both lines are pretty bad if we bolt them twice. I think I'm just happy to have 3 spells up. Gifts? We just counter that, right? Gifts and Past in Flames are probably the only spells I'm really excited to denial here. If they have Baral, we have 2 shots to take it out while they're comboing. Electromancer, that's the same thing. That's a ritual. We're going to try to kill this. Not tapping the Steam Vents because I want to give the opponent the Fear of God and counter spells. We're going to try doing this again, I think, because they're going to try to go off on top of our Lightning Bolt, and I'm not cool with that. Maybe that's silly. I don't know. I don't know if that's a bad decision, burning the second bolt. However, we're going to hit 6, and actually we should hit 8 too. Probably should have hit 8 a long time ago. We dead, opponent? They made blue. We might be dead because they have a lot of mana now. On the bright side, having an additional threat in play would not have stopped them from going off. I wonder if you just let them gifts. That just sounds so bad, though. Then they have Past in Flames for sure. I guess you could try to counter the Past in Flames, but they make a lot of mana. I don't know. Anyone who's better at playing against Storm than I am, feel free to let me know what you think. We're casting spells. Gifts? It looks like a gift. I might just be dead. They're going to gift us. They have 4 mana, 2 mystery cards. At 4 mana, we just lose the game, right? They get the stock gifts pile, Ritual, Ritual Manamorphose, Past in Flames, and we just lose. Well, if they didn't have that gifts, we might have had a decent chance. Given that they only net 1 mana on a Ritual, if they didn't have this, they have 8 mana. They Past in Flames. They go down to 4. No, we're still super dead if this is a Past in Flames instead. If we let the first gifts resolve and we pretend they don't have this. They Past in Flames, they go down to 4, we counter it. They can't Past in Flames again. That would have been nice. Then again, I don't know. I don't think they start on Past in Flames if you don't counter their gifts. They started on Electromancer here anyways. So the only reason I'm even theorizing starting on Past in Flames is because I would somehow have... Nauseous Revival and Manamorphose both let them draw a card. So I think I just want to bin those. They have a lot of mana already. What are we clicking? Cards that go into the graveyard. These. I'm going to give them creatures because they already have access to a lot of mana. I'm assuming they can go off anyways. Well, they have mana. Mana 4 days. Past in Flames? Past in Flames. We're just dead, right? They cast all of these. Actually, they don't have Grape Shot yet. They can Manamorphose for blue and find Grape Shot. They can flash back Past in Flames if we put it in the bin. We are definitely dead. We are definitely dead. Alright, we're going to try out Damping Sphere against Storm. Never done that. Supposedly it's good. I'm expecting it to be bounced. Deprive is additional counter magic. Snapcaster Mage gives us more spells, although Snapcaster Mage might just be too expensive for Storm. Damping Sphere the 2, and a Pyroclasm in case of empty. So we're boarding in these 5. What are we boarding out? Traverse, Vapor Snag, Dismember. That's convenient. Let's give it a go. I wonder if you're just not supposed to fight them with those bolts. They had the second gifts ungiven, so I'm assuming that's what they were doing, trying to go off with the Electromancer on the stack. So I don't hate using the bolts there. If we don't use the bolts, we get to bluff that we have counter magic, which doesn't seem fantastic since we don't actually have counter magic. And I'm assuming the opponent's going for it there. Unless they just want to gifts and set up, but once they already put a couple rituals on the stack, I imagine they want to just try to kill us. We don't have a threat. We have lots of interaction. We have visions. This is probably okay. Let's see. Do we want to fetch here? I kind of want to fetch for visions. At the same time, I want to get a green source. I guess we could get a breeding pool. We have a lot of blue. I'm kind of just in double red mode playing this deck with the Faithless Lootings, but I think this is a good spot for double blue instead. Third land in hand, fourth land going to the bottom. Tarmogoyf, I would love to draw. This is an interesting decision point. Slam Goyf? Slam Goyf. We're slamming Goyf. I was considering holding up Spell Snare, but if they slam a cost reducer here, we get to bolt it, hold up Spell Snare plus Spell Pierce. And I think I'd rather snare a Ritual, Manamorphose, something like that, than a cost reducer anyways, since bolt either goes upstairs or nabs the cost reducer. Let's shock, play our Goyf, and send it back to the opponent. If they have an Apostle's Blessing, actually no, that has a CMC of 2. We're not getting punished by that. Are they stumbling? Or are they just sequencing to make us think they're stumbling? In all honesty, I kind of wish I just had a bolt target right now. Tarmogoyf has a 2-3. Not nearly as fast as Tarmogoyf has a 3-4 or a 4-5. I might just bolt the opponent given that we have that Spell Snare for the cost reducer. If we draw a Scour, I probably want to play it proactively. Don't think I want to loot if we find one, just because all of these instants are great. There's the Thought Scour. I think I'm going to grab a Serum Visions. Is that crazy? Sorry, a Steam Vents. Triple blue. We're going to go low. We are going to go low. Let's grow this Goyf as much as we can. 4-5. Oh, yeah. And another Spell Pierce. All right. I was going to say, if they have Blood Moon, we might end up actually just losing to it if we're not able to counter it. Then again, we have counters for days. Second Spell Pierce adds to those counters for days. Maybe we have counters for weeks now? Is that okay to say? Counters for weeks? It sounds kind of lame. If we bolt them here, they go down to 10. It doesn't... Actually, it does speed up the clock because this hits them for 12, but I assume they're tapping this at some point. I'm going to bolt them here. If they have Ritual into gifts, we still get to pierce it. If they go Ritual, do I just snare it? No. I let them cast the gifts. All right. We drew our preemptive Empty the Warrens answer. And we have 2 to 3 counter spells up. Knock on wood. I feel like this is how we want the game to go. This seems like what we want to happen. What do we got? Ritual Gifts? Repeal with a CMC of 3. I have a lot of these pierces. By a lot, I mean precisely 2. But you know what? Keeping my pressure in place seems pretty good. Given that we have 2 more pieces of interaction, I think I'm happy with that play. This is a spot where a Snapcaster Mage or Burn Spell would be very good. Burn Spell much better than the Snapcaster Mage right now, because I don't really want to tap out for Snap Bolt into the opponent's Remand Untap Kill You. Lightning Bolt. All right. Do we go... Oh, we're going to go for the Bolt on their upkeep. See, every now and then, I just have a really good idea. You guys notice that? It's like, I like to think that I'm a decent Magic player, but every now and then, I just come up with the good lines. This is just strictly better than what I was going to do. Do I snare that? I'm totally snaring this, right? Do this. We could pierce, make them tap out, and then snare it. But I think Spell Snare might just get it done quicker. It does. Do I want to show them Spell Snare? I think that's okay. We're going to be on the draw now, so I think we should be at least a little bit afraid. I'm going to keep the deck as is because I like it. Maybe we board out Snapcaster Mage on the draw. What do we board in? Dismember kills cost reducers. EE kills Empty the Warrens. All of these other cards just look strictly worse than those. All right. Which of these cards is the best? How many answers to empty the Warrens do we need? If we stop them from going off with Grape Shot, we stop them from going off with Empty anyways most of the time. They can sometimes ritual into a decent size Empty, something like 6 to 8 goblins. That can be a problem. Mandrills covers that well. Pyromancer covers that well. I think I might kind of have preemptive answers to Empty the Warrens. So I think we're just going to go with Pyroclasm as our only dedicated answer. Interesting to note, they tried to repeal our Goyf. They could just as easily try to repeal a Damping Sphere. Storm definitely has the tools to beat this card, and I don't even think it's going to be that hard for them to beat it. But I think Damping Sphere plus Pressure plus Interaction might be lights out, where if we counter their repeal and then they have to try to do it again on their turn, it might be a big problem for them. Dismember's just a lot cleaner than Snapcaster Mage, and I think most of the time that we lose, it's because they get to keep their guy around for long enough. Then again, they did win game 1 through having their dude die. We have answers to the cost reducer, we have counters, and we have threats. This hand is just fantastic, right? That's so much better. It's just so much better. Yes, I would love to have a Serum Visions. Thank you very much. Turn 1 Visions means we're not holding up a Bolt for their cost reducer, but our opponent, interestingly, in this game, in this match, actually, has not played a cost reducer on 2 yet, which means they either have yet to find one in time, or they're the kind of opponent that holds on to it until they actually plan on going off, which makes holding up Lightning Bolt instead of playing Serum Visions a lot worse. I don't think I want these lands before I find counter spells, and I'm almost positive I don't want to see that second Mandrills at any point during this match. No cost reducer. Don't know if they're holding on to it, but we play land. I'm going to play Tarmogoyf. If we're dead, we're dead. Honestly, I don't know when my land's coming. Our opponent seems to like holding up stuff. Remand, we might be dead. We might be dead. Maybe they're sculpting their hand some more. Maybe we just lost. Who knows? I don't. Go to us. This opponent is very patient. Maybe I should have kept that third land. But then I wouldn't have this denial. Maybe Goyf plus Bolt is worth it. I feel like bottoming both of those Misties was wrong. I'm going to try it again. Alright, opponent. Do me a favor, would you? Repeal. Man, they just don't want us to have a clock. That actually might make Damping Sphere better. There's the cost reducer. Are we doing it, opponent? Did I make a massive mistake in not keeping that land on top? We would have been able to go Goyf plus Bolt if I did. They're going to make some mana. They are making some more mana. We might have just learned a valuable lesson about this deck. Pieces of the puzzle. Okay, they might not be going off here. They might just be stocking up for another turn. They found another pieces of the puzzle. This lets you get, what, 2 of them? They're going to get pieces and revival, maybe Grape Shot. I'm hoping they don't go off yet, because I'd like to kill this And you know what? Stubborn Denial doesn't even interact well on an empty board. They binned. They went second pieces. They're getting Manamorphose. Pyretic. They're going to be able to cast both of those here. And they have a lot of cards in hand. Lot of cards. Pyretic's going to hit the bin shortly. Show us the Pyretic, please, opponent. Actually, Denial would be really good here. Next, we get to see Manamorphose. There it is. We already saw this pieces. Nauseous is in the bin. Here's a Visions. Grapeshot. Remand Grapeshot. I don't think they have the mana yet. More Rituals and they will. That's one of them. That's enough. That's a lot of Rituals. I feel like they don't have the Remand. 2 cards in hand, opponent. Past in Flames. GG's. Alright, we learned a lesson about playing against Storm. And you know what? That's a good thing. That is a good thing. We only got 40 play points, but you combine those with those 40 play points we got in the previous league, and we get to play another friendly league, which I was honestly hoping we would cash this one and then use the play points to jump into a comp, but that's okay. We'll play another friendly. So I just got +1 experience points in playing against Storm, so that's good. Turns out it's a good idea to have that third land so you can go threat plus bolt. Also, I feel like when Storm opponents hold on to their cost reducer for longer, they are more likely to win because they actually get to sculpt their hand like that. And they don't just tap out and then have their dude die. So then again, we're playing an interactive deck, so obviously the Storm deck shouldn't go as fast as it can, whereas against a non-interactive deck, the Storm deck wants to race. So I guess that's just common sense in a way. But you know, a lot of Storm pilots don't do that. I've seen a lot of Storm pilots rush their dudes out, have them die, and then faff around. So we got a bit better. That's a good thing. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to see you in the next one.